we are glad to be here at SunGates Radio Studio at SunGates Center, and we are back with Dr. Marina Kostina, who is a Reiki master and amazing educator and spiritual healer. And hi, Marina.
Hi, how are you?
And we're talking again about self-love. And Marina is going to introduce her guest, who just beside her. Hi, Julia.
Hello.
Hi. Yes, this is a great guest we have today because we're talking about self-love in this segment. And we decided to invite Julia Klein, who is the owner of the German Language Center in Chicago, to talk about self-love and foreign languages, which is a very interesting topic, I think.
It's amazing. It's very interesting. I was kind of exploring it a little bit before the program, and it seems to me it's fascinating. So just dive in.
Yes, Julia. So welcome to our show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about what you do, and we're going to continue with our topic of self-love.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. And yes, I came to the United States about 9 years ago. And first, I've always worked with kids and started teaching German the second year I got here. I worked independently as a German tutor. I worked for the German Cultural Centers. And I now, last year, opened my own language center in the Lakeview neighborhood of Chicago, where I am attracting learners of every age. The youngest are a year, and the oldest are in their 80s, and they all love me.
Oh.
That is great. So let's get to our topic. What's love got to do with that? Does self-love somehow affect studying a foreign language? You have all ages here, so maybe there is some statistics for different ages.
Well, first of all, that's one question I ask, especially the older learners, why they're learning a foreign language. And you will hear things like, for a better profession, for communicating with their partner, or just to experience something new. So in the first view, it doesn't seem like it has to do with self-love, but it has a whole lot to do with self-love. Learning a second language is, to deepen your own reception of yourself and exploring and going further. Learning a second language is expressing yourself not just in your native tongue, but expressing your inner self also to a foreign culture.
And that could be really scary because I remember all three of us are non-native speakers of English here, right?
Exactly.
If you've ever experienced this, and Julia, but I remember that I came here, I was 20 years old, but my language capacity was of a 3-year-old. And so it was so hard and so scary and so limiting and so frustrating to be in this situation, to express myself in a language where I knew that I was very, very verbal in my language, but I couldn't show the degree, the depth of me.
I'm so sorry. The thing is, it's in fact not only adults. Like I came here, I was 30, but my son was 7 or 8 at the moment, and it was really hard on him to get a new language and make new friends. So he kind of was in a shell, hiding until he was able to speak fluently.
I agree. And it's not only for people who are venturing out into a new world, who decide to live in a new country than their own, where they speak the native tongue. It is also for a vacation or a trip. I have students age 6 and 7 who are very active, a little too active during class sometimes, very verbal in their language. And then they go to the big trip to Salzburg, to Austria, or they go to Germany, and then they become those teeny tiny little crabs trying to hide in a shell. And it's not their own personality anymore. And they are not able to perceive the world out there as they are, like in their native language environment. And that's why it is important to start very young, that they do not build up boundaries. And the fun part in my job is working with the little ones who are not yet hesitant of speaking. As an adult, many adults like, oh, am I saying this right? And I don't know this word. As a child, you do want to communicate on the level, I want to play that game, I want to eat that food. And you don't know the German word for chocolate ice cream. You don't care. You just say, I want it, and you go for it. You use the words you have, and then
that's a great point. What you just said is that I found that those adults who act in this aspect as children, meaning that they don't care, those adults who come in, they have like 10 words, but they use them all, and they don't care if they make mistakes or not. Right. As opposed to those adults, most of us, who are so self-conscious, who trying to say it right, those who don't care, they usually have the highest progress. Is that
I highly agree with that. As an adult, we are drilled to pass a test. It's today, on this day, we have to finish this lesson in the book. There is not many teachers take the opportunity. They are afraid of the hands-on opportunity for adult learning. With my adults, we play games. We play Bilder Bingo, Picture Bingo, which has, kids' pictures on there. It has like toys and clothing, very minimal. But adults love to play too. And if you can incorporate it into a game, they are, first of all, less hesitant, and also they don't think about, am I saying it right? They are thinking like, what do I have? Like, I want to win. It's more this, I want to play this game so I can win. And this is what we do at our center too. We do incorporate a lot of hands-on learning, even for adults.
Mm-hmm. So wonderful. So you would say, so on the one hand, the way we think of ourselves, right? If we're more in touch with ourselves, if we are more willing to take risks, if we are not if our self-esteem is, in a balanced way, right? So we are more likely to be successful in language learning, right?
I do agree with that. Yes.
Okay, so that is important. But what about the reverse? Do you think if a person who comes to your class doesn't have good self-esteem, is a little bit, feels awkward and scared, while they're learning the language, can that skill affect their self-love, self-esteem, their self-acceptance? Can it make them more, braver? I don't know.
In fact, yes, the answer is yes. And these are actually my favorite students. I do have favorites. I'm one of those teachers who has favorite students. And I like the quiet ones. I like the ones who have it all in their head, but are too afraid of saying it. And as a good teacher, you don't push it like, okay, you got to fill out all the answers, and I know you know it in writing. You kind of, we say you tickle it out of them. You find a way where they are not shy of expressing themselves. And with having a second language learning program, you are much more aware of your own language, of your own culture. You have to reflect on, I want to say this. What does that mean in my language? Like, I learned the most about the German language when I had to teach it, because then I had to apply all the rules to explain it to others. And for learners too, it's like, I want to say this in German. How would I say that in my own language?
So how does that knowledge help you love yourself, accept yourself, feel more powerful, feel more confident? How does that those skills really help you with that? Because we're talking right now, it's a great skill to speak another language, but we also want to see how another language helps you with other with your other areas in your life.
I would like to say you become more aware of yourself. Mm-hmm. First of all, I shouldn't say that if I want to promote myself, but if you...
That's honest.
I'm too honest for my job. But any skill you learn helps build up self-confidence. It's like you can be proud of yourself, having established something, taking yourself a step higher, further, and being different from others. And this is what self-love is, to realize who you are, to be aware of your capability, of your knowledge, and also everything you learn, something new, it clicks. It just, it builds up more and more confidence. Like I have my students, and in this case, I'm more talking about the adults, since we, people have been pushed on our self-esteem. We might think, I might be pretty, but I'm not smart enough to learn something, or the other way around, I'm just smart. It's the more you interact with them, you build a community, you build a group. This makes them stronger. This makes them blossom, and be not aware of the self-doubt. And it's with us too. I don't know if with you, but for me, it's like at some point, did I say that right? And then I was really self-aware, and at a point I'm like, screw that. It's not my native language. If anyone dares to criticize me, speak whatever I'm saying in a different language, and then we're talking.
That's a good attitude. And I think that, just when you do it repeatedly, you put yourself in a risky situation, which is risky situation, speaking another language. And if you keep doing it repeatedly because you have to, it builds up that kind of, you build the thicker skin, right? In a good way, that you are not as affected by the failure as the first time around, right? Everything's practice. So I think that's a really good skill for you to learn.
Exactly. I have a question, maybe to both of you. We have here some people, not native English tongue people, who are coming, and if we have someone who is teaching in English, they are always would say, I don't understand, I don't know English, even though they live here for more than 10 years and they working in a family where people are the family speaking English, and they're like working for those families, but still they're coming and saying, no, I don't understand, I won't understand. They kind of put in a barrier in front of them. So what would you recommend for those people? How they would open up or be more acceptive to the foreign language, and they really feel that they're ready to understand?
I tell people to be patient with yourself. I think in times like that, where we all are drilled to work for the grade, work towards a test and pass that, learning a language is not about a test. It's not about getting through that chapter book. It is easy to learn a language for 6 months. Or even for 1 semester. You can learn your vocabulary, you can learn all the grammar rules, and you can be the star student. As soon as you put the book down and says, I'm taking a break, I'm not doing it anymore, you step out of it, and your knowledge that you've gained so far is worth nothing. The key to speak a foreign language is be patient with yourself and stick to it. And I'm trying to learn Russian myself, so I know it's a struggle.
We'll put you on the test right now.
That's not an easy language.
But learning German, this is what all Native American, not Native American, but the American people, is we have the cases, we have all those different times, the grammar is, I'm sorry, it is horrible, but it is doable if you are patient with yourself. And also what I'm telling my adult learners, because they need more patience than the kids with the adult learners, is it is all coming back. Let's say those hated cases, like the dative and the accusative, get introduced, and after 2 sessions, I will never understand this, I don't know what this means, and I'm just be open. We will go recover it, it will come. And if you don't understand this part of the German grammar with, for example, clothing items, we will get back to when it comes to food items, and we will take a different angle. So mastering a second language does take time, patience, and commitment.
And commitment, yes. And I think that also, Rita, what you can I used to teach ESL, right, and a little bit of Russian. But what I also teach, how those people, I always tell them, even in your own language, you don't understand every single word. You understand actually what does the science say? Like 30%, even less than 30, some say 15%, and everything else depends on the verbal communication, on just the vibe that you have. So even in your own language, you don't listen for each word. So I was training my students for selective listening, right? They know 10 words. Listen for those 10 words and try to put them together with the gestures, and you got it right? Because when you try to understand every single word in the paragraph and reading and listening, you go nuts. The same thing in life, talking about self-esteem. Right. Concentrate on those few things that you do well. You might do like 30 things you think horribly, but it's your focus. I think it's all about the focus. If we shift our focus to the positive, if we shift our focus on our power, our talents, even 2 or 1, I think that's what we feed, right? And the same thing with the language.
And I also tell the people, it's a passion. Like you don't have to be good with languages very often, and I'm sure you hear that too as teachers, it's like, oh, I'm just not good with languages. I'm not when it comes to, yoga, or like I'm not good with sports. It's like this, you can train it. Learning a language, you do build up a muscle memory too, just like if you're learning an instrument or if you're learning a sport. It's the repetitiveness of doing things over and over again. It's putting you into a routine, into becoming not becoming a learner, becoming part of German life, German culture. When we have sessions at my center, I introduce people to websites to go to where they can listen to German radio, where they can watch German TV, where they can be part of a German community, where they can read German newspapers. And of course, even though it is too many words, too hard, and speaking too fast, but you need to train your ear. From all these skills, learning a language, like being able to listen, is the hardest to conquer.
Right, and you just mentioned routines, right? And I think Rita wants to say something. We're going to let her in here. But again, like the focus, I'm just trying to kind of get the techniques that we can use from learning a foreign language to, that apply to anything in life, right? So we talked about risk-taking, right? And the more we do it, the easier it becomes. We talked about focus. What do you focus on? You can focus on anything. Focus on what serves you, right? The same thing with the language. The third thing you just mentioned is the routines. Creating routines is a really good thing because it's safety. We're all strive for safety, right? So routines in the language, routines in your personal life that make you feel safe and then make you feel accomplished. That boosts self-esteem and self-love. Rita, you wanted to say something.
Oh, I just wanted to get us back to the self-love issue, not issue, but self-love topic, and ask you, Marina, about your new program that you just announced.
Yes, thank you so much. That's that's what we're talking about. And actually, all of those skills that just Julia brought from foreign language teaching are going to be in this program and many more, because self-love is like foreign language to us, unfortunately, right?
To many of us, yes.
For many of us, yes, because we are not taught how to love ourselves. And my first part of the self-love course starts November 21st. It's an online course. It's on Wired for Self-Esteem. So it's www.wired4selfesteem.com, and there we're going to learn all of the different tools. It is going to be like a foreign language where you're learning something new, but it becomes a part of you and a much better part of you, right? We really go through. It's a very interesting program because it's online. You do it at any time that you want, and I know that when you have low self-esteem, the last thing you have is time for yourself. So I am going to be sending 20-minute exercises every day, and you can hide behind the computer screen if you don't want, if you're shy, and do it even under a new avatar or things like that. So that's
Or in your pajama.
Oh, you're in your PJs. Exactly. It's the best. So you feel comfortable, safe, and you learn in you can give yourself a gift of 4 weeks right before the holidays to start this new year right, loving yourself. So www.wiredforselfesteem.com. Thank you so much about bringing that.
And on December 4, we're going to do the first part here at SunGates Center. What would be the first part of this whole program that you're going to present here at SunGates?
We're going to be getting rid of all of the garbage, because in order to put in something...
Yay! I am so ready.
Rita and I, we thought that it would be a really good time before the new year to get rid of all of the stuff that doesn't serve us. And so then in the new year, we're going to work on how to put stuff, the wonderful positive changes into your life. So yes, garbage out, right? Self-love in will be our first workshop on December 4th.
1 p.m. Yeah, we're going to get more information on YouTube, under the video, and on the Facebook with recordings, so everybody will be able to see it.
Thank you. And now Julia has an opportunity also to talk about her center where you're located. So those who want to build self-esteem through
German language.
And yes, and culture and all of the fun things they do there.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. We have plenty of classes starting soon, but you can start anytime. First class is always free. My German language center is in the Lakeview neighborhood, 1449 West Irving Park Road in Chicago. And my webpage is GermanLanguageCenterInChicago.com. It's a very long name, but very easy to remember. www.GermanLanguageCenterInChicago.com. We have classes for, as I said, everyone from age 1 to 100. And don't hesitate. Just come by and say hello, and I'll be happy to find you the right class where you will fit in.
So saying hello in German language, how does it sound?
It says hello.
Hello.
Oh, we got it already. Okay, I already feel good about myself. Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for having us here. And thank you for listening to our segment on self-love and self-esteem. And keep loving yourself.
Yes. And learn German.
Yes, it's more than we love ourselves. Other people love us, and we love each other. That's a wonderful world, just the perfect world around us.
It affects your entire life. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Bye bye.
Bye bye.